Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Oh.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm like slightly melanated, so I just wanted to go up a third and just give you a little something.
Thank you, that was good.
Compliment your melanation.
That was good. Okay, so we are bringing you episode 5, and this too shall pass. What was it called? Seeds of Doubt.
Yeah, that's it's like trees of doubt.
All right, you guys. So I'm here with my friend Chris Farah.
Hi.
Much to some of y'all's chagrin. So we actually watched this episode in Vegas. She and I just came back from Vegas for this long weekend. We had a fabulous time. We saw some really good shows. I mean, they're really good.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
It's relative.
So let's jump right into this episode. First we have John and Rachel. Okay, so we start off with the obligatory scene of Rachel and John doing something with little baby Lucy, and this time he is changing the diaper and doesn't understand how diapers work. Every time I see that joke somewhere with like, oh, how do you know which way we'll do it? I'm like, it's the simplest thing to figure out. My brother did it. He put on LaDonnie's pamper backwards once, and I was just like, you thought it was that hard? Like, you thought you would have to like take this off and strap it around the baby's back? Like, that's how hard you thought it was?
Men are dumb.
That's just crazy. So they're still talking about the whole situation with John not wanting to be called dad by Lucy, but I think Rachel's kind of brushing over it because she's got a limited amount of time here in the UK and she just wants to make the best of it. So they are going to meet up with 2 of John's friends that she hasn't met. And at first I'm excited because I thought we were going to see Top Bun and Gold Chain, but we didn't. She actually just leaves the baby with John's mother while they go out and do this.
Right, and the mom was just like, I'll take the baby. If the baby cries, I'll give the baby some tea. That's what I gave John, and John's fine. We go and we meet these friends. They're in kind of a swanky, like nice looking spot. His friends are dressed up. They have squeezed themselves into those suits though. They haven't worn those suits in a minute. And Rachel is there just not a stitch of makeup on. Like she just decided she was gonna go out and meet her fiance or soon to be fiance or like her hopeful fiance's friends, which is like, not a piece she's not worn makeup this like whole time, so like why do you think that she's wearing makeup?
I don't know.
In this very moment. I mean, she's just not a makeup girl, you know?
You know what it is?
We've been proving that. And
I'm being a jerk because I judge people who like say, oh, you should wear makeup or you shouldn't wear makeup. So I'm being a jerk about that. But it's just because they put a little bit of something on her in the confessionals, and I even feel like she has a little bit of a highlight going on in the confessionals, and I just find her look in the confessionals just a little bit elevated, and I just wish that she wanted that for herself at all times as well. They spend so much time talking about how he's a womanizer and he's gotten into fights. At some point, one of the ones had to tell the other one to just kind of stop, like you were going in too deep on John. And John is literally like this. What do you mean? Like just so like, I don't. That's not true, is it? No, it is true, John. You're a womanizer. And you've gone through many women, and everyone has told this to Rachel. Mom has told this to Rachel. Sister has told this to Rachel. Now, best friends Jack and Turtle have told this to Rachel.
Literally every person is like, run.
And she's just like, you know what? I'm here for the long haul. I know I love him. I know he's a different person. We will, however, talk about those fights. So exactly what kind of fight was it?
Yeah.
And so he has to like talk about the fight. And then she's like, well, 50 or 60 fights. So let's talk about the 50 or 60.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fights.
Yes.
In his 34 years of life, for him to not be, what'd you say, Krav Maga or whatever, for him to not be some kind of MMA fighter, for him to be fighting in pubs, like 50 or 60, bruh, that's a lot. And then all of his friends are like, well, you know, he gets to a point where like, it's not him provoking it or him starting it, but he finishes it. And I'm just like, damn, he can't go to the States with that attitude. They will deport him so quick.
He literally said 50 or 60, and I was like, wait, 15 or 16, but no, it's like 50/60 fights. Like that's almost like every weekend getting in a fight for a year.
Yeah. Every weekend
for a year.
For a year getting into a fight. I mean, there's something kind of masculine and machismo about that I kind of am into, but like not for realsies, like not for like, here, take care of me and my 2 kidsies. Like,
yeah,
that's for like a weekend situation.
This is a romantic novel. This is unfortunate, Rachel. I will say this is Rachel thinks she's in a romantic novel where she's gonna like tame this like English brute that has like a past, that is like, has been a womanizer and a drunkard, but she's gonna change him with her lovely round face and her cute ass baby and her like American ways. That's what she thinks is gonna happen. And I mean, if that's true, if that happens, God bless, but in no way do I think that could possibly happen.
I mean, poor girl. Okay, so let's move on to the next couple. The next couple that we're gonna talk about are Paul. The next couple we're gonna talk about is Paul and Karina.
I'm so happy you said is.
Shout out to the live feed. Okay, so where we left off with them last episode, honestly, I can't remember, but let's talk about where they are now. So basically, Paul hires an interpreter, maybe he doesn't, TLC does. They go to have a conversation again with Karina's parents because Karina's parents wants to know what's up, are they still getting married, what's going on? Because apparently Karina has been complaining and he feels like having this interpreter here will allow him to tell his side of the story.
Yeah.
And it's just, at first you think like, what are they gonna talk about? And then it's like little stuff, like she's saying, oh, he doesn't want me to have any friends, he's banned me from talking to so many people, I'm lonely.
He yells at me, well, which is a major thing. He actually says, yes, I absolutely do yell at her.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine him yelling at her. So it's not to say I don't believe her. I just am like, this is not what they're presenting. Like, what's going on? What conversations are being had where he's just like either yelling at her, speaking loudly. And I think where it's frustrating is because it's not like he's yelling at her in a language she can understand. He's just yelling at her in English. So like, she doesn't know what is going on, and whenever they try to talk or communicate, he turns his back on her and walks away. And he admitted that he gets frustrated and then his voice escalates and he doesn't think that he should do that to her. And she's crying in front of her parents, and I can't even imagine how her dad is sitting across the table watching this happen. Like, this little twerp is making my daughter cry.
Yeah, he's just like, clean the George Foreman grill! Like,
I can't even imagine it. I can't even imagine it. I'm like, what?
It was exact. Actually, it's just like that. I can tell. It's like big blue eyes. It's just like.
And so then mom ends up stepping in and saying like, hey, you guys need to learn each other's languages, period, point blank. Like, you just need to learn each other's languages. So
also don't get married.
That's also the thing too. It's like, when you have that, you'll have the communication and you need to postpone the wedding. And so they talk about postponing the wedding, and it's gonna happen, and Paul is so upset. And I hate when he tries to console her, because then he's like, Karina? All of a sudden his like Portuguese accent gets real clear, and he goes into this high-pitched woman's voice.
Yes.
Like, Karina? And he tries to hand her some like dinner cloth napkin, and she's just like, Paul, stop, leave me alone. So the next scene that we have with Paul and Karina is just with Karina and her mother, and they're at the dressmaker's, the wedding place, and she's trying on wedding gowns, and I mean, she looks pretty.
She's in the Colombian Kleinfeld, honey. It's say yes to the dress. You know, and the first dress was an absolute no for Karina. It was too big, and then she picks out a second dress. And I was actually surprised that she liked it because I felt like it was kind of mature for her.
Yeah, I literally have no idea what she's talking about. What's Kleinfeld? Kleinfeld. Very simple. What's Kleinfeld?
Okay, I know.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go into a launching and into a whole thing. You took a deep breath. I got
excited to tell you.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Kleinfeld's is just a little shop from the Say Yes to the Dress franchise on TLC, another show on TLC. Well, I'm so sorry. That's what Kleinfeld's is. Been on for a couple seasons.
I'm awful.
Yeah, just say it, right? One sentence. I mean, God bless. I love you.
I'm gonna put all that in. Oh, and then her mother is basically like, look, I think Karina will do well in the US, and I hope the best for her, but hey, if anything goes wrong, just come back.
Yeah, she's crying. She's, gotta send that baby butterfly on its journey, and then if it comes back, it was meant to be.
Okay.
Something Mariah would say.
Yeah.
He at one point it like confronts her and is like, you don't clean. I don't think that you can take care of a baby. And she is just like, you're an idiot and I can take care of a baby.
Oh yeah. The scene where they're at the restaurant. Yeah. And he basically, and I actually thought that was a very good point on his part. Like, if she can't keep things together and it's just them two in the apartment, how is she gonna be with the baby? Okay, so the next couple that we're gonna talk about are Ricky and Melissa. Hermina.
Oh my God.
So it's not Melissa, it's Hemina. So Ricky has been in Colombia for 4 days now, and for those 4 days he has not heard from Melissa at all. So while he's there though, and even previously when he was in the United States, he was talking to another girl, Hemina. I think I'm saying her name right. He, I guess, had been talking to Hemina also while he was in Colombia, letting her know that he was there, probably after Melissa stopped talking to him on that very first or second time when he was going around in that camo outfit. He like springs it on us. Now, from a viewer standpoint, thank you, Ricky, for that plot twist, because it was great. We haven't had like one like that on TLC, and it was kind of exciting. And I was like, oh my God, this is a whole new thing I've never seen. Like, he's got another girl he's checking out. So kudos for that. I thank you for that good TV.
Also, like, what would happen if, you know, Melissa just like was like, no, I'm out of here, and then like you wouldn't be able to be on the show. But you're smart enough to have a plan B, just pull it out of your pocket. Yeah. I mean, you know, like, we should be taking notes.
It's great TV.
Yeah.
So then he tells us about Hemina, and we see pictures of this beautiful Colombian girl who looks like a regular person.
A beautiful, normal,
looking,
natural,
regular woman. And listen,
lovely.
I don't want to shade women who buy it, suck it, and tuck it. Like, I don't want to shame those women. I'm just saying that there is this hyperactive sexualizing of women, especially when they have that kind of fake stuff that Melissa has going on. It happens, and it is what it is. And that kind of culture kind of bothers me within men throughout the world. That whole culture of like, oh, I want, this is this hot woman that I'm gonna spend all my money on, but I'm just gonna kind of ignore this like regular looking, sweet, great person because she isn't as hot as that one. I think it's ridiculous. So anyways, Hemina gets there, girl. He's got the roses out for her. He put out chocolates. He's got the vino. He's got everything. He's ready to go, right? And he's like talking about how he wants to be a gentleman and he's nervous and all this stuff. And she gets there and she's just like, oh my God, she's great. She's personable. She's talking to the camera. She's talking about Ricky, about how cute he is, how much she likes his beard. It's great. Like, it's great.
Also, like, one more thing is like, going back to the thing about the, like, not wanting to like shade fake women totally, but also one more thing is Ricky has a daughter that he's continually like stupidly been like, oh, Melissa's gonna be like such a great mom to my daughter or whatever, and it's like, no, she's not, for obvious reasons. Jimena like does have a warmth to her already that you feel like, yeah, I feel like Jimena's gonna get along with your daughter. I feel like Jimena and your daughter are gonna like be really sweet together, and she's gonna like cook for her and stuff. You know, Melissa wasn't gonna pack a sandwich. She wasn't gonna pack a lunchbox. She wasn't gonna put a thermos in there for her. She was gonna sleep until 11 a.m. and then be like, where's the Fendi Prada sandals for me to get up and walk around? And then like, she was gonna be like Anfisa. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the George, she was gonna be the Anfisa, but he had a child.
Yeah, Rickies don't get the Paulas. Rickies don't get the Melissas. Rickies don't get the Anfisa unless you have the money to get those women. And Ricky, you don't have that money to get them or keep them. And you have baggage, 2 kids, and low-key liar, honestly. Yeah, I just hate the way that, you know, Jimena is billed as like second rate or like next in line, or like he actually came there for Melissa, but now he has to tell Jimena that he can't. I wouldn't even tell Jimena. His whole thing in next episode is that he's gonna tell Jimena that he actually came to Colombia to meet another woman, but then just decided that since he was there and he'd been talking to her that he was going to reach out to her, and she like lives 5 hours away and came from wherever she is to see him with very short notice. So I'm just really hope that he doesn't tell Jimena, because I think if that were me and I knew that I was second rate to someone like Melissa, I would be pissed and really sad. It would make me sad. So I hope he doesn't tell her.
Also, I'd be pissed that I was second choice in Ricky's life. I would look at Ricky and be like, I'm second in you. I should be your like goddess that you would even ascertain at the idea of having me at some point in your life.
So the next couple that we're gonna move on and talk about is Jessie and Darcy. I mean, just a hot mess. Like, I don't have anything else to say about it. They're in Connecticut and like, they just, Chris actually made a really good observation.
Okay, well, first of all, he has a headband on. Okay. He has a headband on. And I was just like, did that come in a pack of 3? Are we gonna see one in pink and then one in gray? You know? Don't ever eat together or talk about food or plan to make food together or think about enjoying dinner together, because it seems to be like a crux in your relationship. Also, social media, don't talk about that. They just keep fighting over food, and the thought of food, eating seems really hard for them. And this really hurts my soul, because if you haven't noticed, I love to eat. Darcy and him obviously fight right over making the dinner. Like, Darcy's supposed to make the rice and he's supposed to make the steak, and then she just keeps butting in on him making the steak, like trying to hyper control the situation. And truly, from a person that has anxiety, I know what's happening, but she's just trying to control the situation because she has certain ideas and she wants to like look good on camera. But that fear of like not looking good on camera is like making her act bananas. You have to cut on a bias.
Cut on a bias. Cut on a bias. Cut on a bias. Cut on a bias. Cut on a bias. Bias. I know how to do as I work in a restaurant. Bias. So where we first start off is they are going to the grocery store and they can't even have a conversation about that. So she sits down with him and she says that she wants to pretend what it's going to be like when they have a family. So they're sitting there, it looks like they just woke up. Jesse has his cup of coffee, he's got his headband on, he's not ready for the day. So he's sitting there and she's across from him and she has a piece of paper out like me and a pen and she's like, okay, what are we gonna make for the kids? They like chicken and pasta and steak, and he's just like, girl, whatever you normally cook your kids, like go on ahead and get it. But I would like your input because that's how it's gonna be if we're living together, if you're living here, if we're married. No, it isn't. So anyway, she just like wants him to have this conversation. He does not. And so she's just like, well, what did I do now? And he's like, I don't want to deal with you or your sassy attitude. Like, I just wanted to be calm. He's already nervous because he's going to have to be around the girls. And he's worried that they're not going to provide this united front. So he needs a zen moment in the morning to sit on the back porch and get his thoughts together. And Darcy does not want to let him have it. So she's like, well, then I'm going to the store because I have to feed my kids. She's acting like she has to like literally do everything. Like she can't just order food or like go get food real quick. She's acting like she has to like build this meal up from the ground up, from the seed, from the egg up. It's just crazy. And so she goes, like she's leaving and she says this stupid little remark. I know you're 24 years old, Jesse, but can you grow up or something like that? And my thing is like, Mama, you have gotten with a 24-year-old boy, which everyone is like, girl, get that boy back to his mama. And you're like, no, he's old enough. And the minute he does something that you find to be immature, you're gonna throw out the 24-year-old card. That's not fair because you have already let go of the idea that him being too young is an issue for you. You decided that you're gonna want a 24-year-old man to be a stepfather to your 11 and 12-year-old children. And so at this point, you don't get to talk about his age because you already stepped into this fire, so you have to deal with the burns, okay? That's it. Then she tries to leave, fake leaves, right? Doesn't leave though, sits in the front on the porch, he's sitting in the back, and he's explaining to the camera like what's going on in his head, which is everything I just explained to you. He gets up, and then all of a sudden she's sitting in the front still. I think maybe it was set up by the producer that they were supposed to go to the store by themselves, so she actually couldn't leave without him. And then he gets up and goes, and she's just like, you okay now? Are you feeling better? And he's like, yeah. And then he proceeds to have the fakest moment in the grocery store, and it is so hilarious. She's like, babe, should we get the salad? We're a big family. I'm like, you're the same size family when you live with your sister. Like, it's just 4 of you guys. This lunacy conversation about what they're gonna feed these kids who could just put Hot Pockets in the microwave and push go. 220 start is what they can put on the microwave to make those Hot Pockets. And you're now wanting him to design an entire meal, 5-course meal for your daughters. And then you ask him to pick out a dessert for them like he knows them.
I can tell you what the girls want for dessert. Jesse.
So he goes to this stupid little fake thing and gets one of these store-bought situations. And it's like, oh, honey, look. A carrot cake for the girls, yummy, and picks it out, and it's like, oh, it's Darcy size, and then like gives her a hug, and it is so fake, and I'm like, bravo, Jesse. TLC told you they needed that scene, and you gave them that scene. And then they get back to the house and it just all blows up. She already explained to you what happened. We stopped on Cut It on a Bias, so let's pick up with Cut It on a Bias. So Jesse gets upset after the whole Cut on a Bias situation and gets up and walks out of the door outside and sits down, and she then is so inappropriate and starts to call him and say she doesn't know why he's upset and this isn't good, and they're having this argument, and then the girls come over and are just like, can we just eat? And she's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine, we can just eat. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. Let's just go eat. And it's like, then her girls think that Jesse has somehow done something wrong because all mom wants to do is make sure the food is whatever, and it really is all mom's fault. This couple is getting infuriating, and I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about them anymore, but like, I mean,
she needs some Ativan. I'll just say this right now. Jesse calls it out. Jesse's like, what happens is she's upset because she thinks that she's gonna look like a bad mom, and so she tries to hyper control the situation, and that's what happened. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And girl, like, just get some anti-anxiety pills. Like, that's honestly what you need. I think you're actually gonna live a better life when you like take that down a notch, I think.
So the next couple that we're gonna talk about is Hazel and Tariq.
Oh, okay.
So let me just give a little shout out to Tariq because one, he found our video and posted it up on his Instagram. So that was a really cool shout out. Thank you very much, Tariq. I always try to not forget that the cast members are people and that they are providing an entertaining service to me. And as much as I want to tear them down and break them all the way down, it really isn't fair to do that to them because, you know, they're humans. And if I were to meet them in public, I might be a little embarrassed by some of the things that I have said. That being said, I still try to be as honest as possible. So I really do appreciate you taking everything we say with a grain of salt. But I know I talk about his outfits, and I'm gonna talk about his outfit because that mesh shirt needs to be mentioned in this part, but I wanted to give him a little shout out because I know why he was wearing that R&B lumberjack outfit. Hey, you wanna hear that again? When I used Hey, the red and black lumberjack with the hat to match. Okay, Tariq, okay, I'll give you that. All right, so where we left off with this episode is, again, after the 15-hour situation with the church, and Tariq makes a joke to Hazel about not having been in a church for that long, and she's just like, it wasn't that long, and he's just like, okay, babe.
Yeah, really long. So the next scene is they are going to go have a confrontational meeting with Tariq's brother, Dean.
I mean, it wasn't supposed to be confrontational, but it ends up very, very much being confrontational.
And they're wearing, let's talk about it. Should we set up the scene?
So Tariq is wearing a black mesh shirt, and it's very 90s, and it's like...
Milli Vanilli, that's what it's like to me. A Milli Vanilli, or Right Said Fred. That's what it is. It's Right Said Fred, I'm Too Sexy, over a white wife beater and then white cargo shorts.
I mean, here's the deal though. Before we saw the cargo shorts, we didn't understand what was going on. And then when we saw the cargo shorts, we understood a little bit what was happening. He's redeemed a little bit, but a white tank over a black mesh, like, where was his gold chain? That's why he needed a gold chain and he needed a leather Newsies hat is what he needed. It's give me a leather black Kangol hat is what he needed, because that whole outfit was like straight up 94, you know? Just living life like it's 90s. So Hazel's very nervous because they are going downstairs to meet Dean. And Dean is Tariq's little brother whom he has raised. And Dean is there. She's really nervous and they say hello, and Dean has some questions for Hazel. The first question that comes crazy out of the pocket is, what is up with your ex? Now think about this. You are dating a guy from another country and he comes to that country to visit you. You've had conversations with him about different things like your exes and like what's going on in your life because you're trying to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And then their sibling comes and then tries to ask you about your ex.
In an aggressive tone you just met in your country.
It's like, not even any of his business.
Yeah.
I mean, and if the way he was going to come about it was even a little bit kind, it could have been like, hey, so I'm just really worried about my brother.
Yeah.
And so I just want to make sure that what you're saying is true and that you say that you really love him. He did tell me that you had clothes at your ex-boyfriend's house, and I just want to ask the hard questions because I know he's not. Are you still dating your ex? Is that done? Are you gonna break my brother's heart? Something. No, he talks to her like she's a criminal and they're in an interrogation room and he's like, what's up with that? You got your clothes at your ex's house and stuff, so what's up with that? And then so you got a kid? Oh, you got a kid, okay. So where your kid at? Oh, he's with his father. Oh, okay, so you don't have your son. Okay, so that really shows your character, you know, how much a woman would fight to have her kid and you don't have yours. That was so out of line. I don't even know what to say. Did he even ask what the circumstances around it was? What do you mean fight? So she can work like 20 hours a day in a factory, making more money so that she can keep her kid but never see her kid? What are you talking about, Dean? Like, I want to fight him so bad. And then he goes on to like, I mean, it's just so much. He's like, you can't answer the question? You can't answer the question? And she's just looking at him like, you can tell she's like a deer caught in the headlights. and like scared and like
yes,
whatever. And finally Tariq steps up. I thought he should have stepped up a little bit sooner. As soon as she started asking about the ex, he should have stepped in and been like, bruh, calm down.
Yes.
I've already asked her those questions. That's good. Like,
that's not your place.
Yeah, it was just way too much off the bat. And he made Hazel very uncomfortable. He made us uncomfortable. And he is a chauvinistic he-man woman hater. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, he is not cool. Like, yeah, the fact that you can look over from that woman who's like, I'm sorry, Hazel's really pretty, but like a scared little mouse. Like, you know, with those big eyes and those big lips just like shaking in front of him. And like, you're gonna like ask all these questions. And also you don't know the story. For instance, Fantine and Les Mis had to give up her child, Cosette, to be raised by a couple because she didn't have enough money. And you know what? She is one of the heroines of American musical theater. So you don't know the context, Dean. But if you did, you might have some empathy for this woman. And also, if you're gonna be mad at anything and anyone, it's your brother. For if you're gonna have those angry questions, then turn around and ask your brother. Because that's who you're really mad at. You think your brother's being stupid, and instead of yelling at your brother for being stupid, you're yelling at a poor, innocent woman whose child is not living with her right now.
Yeah. And then when Tariq is like, that's enough, he decides he's gonna go like TLC extra on us and be like, well then, nah then, MF, because I was trying to help you out. Since you wanna be in here acting all ignorant, I'm just like, yo, you guys are in this little cafe. There's like two big black men, a poor, small, little Filipino girl who's looking real nervous, and like two camera crews. And you're yelling like this and then leave it and then go out and have a confessional talking about that B is crazy. Why can't she just answer a simple question? All this stuff. And I'm just like, what? And then Hazel gets up and she walks away from Tariq. She says she doesn't like his brother. She starts to cry and she walks away. This is somebody that she's getting to know and she's hoping will make a better life for her. She just met the first relative and it was horrible. And he sat back and let it happen. And now she's just gonna get up and run away. She's in her own country, she's on her own turf, she's gonna live her own life. Like, fuck it, it's done, I'm over it.
Yeah.
And I just 100% agree with her. And I feel bad for Tariq because he was put in that situation and I don't think he meant it to get that way, but it got that way, bruh, and you didn't stop it as soon as it could have.
You had to cut that brother out of your life if you want any sort of future with Hazel.
I mean, cut the brother out of your life, that's like
even if you don't want a future with Hazel, like that brother isn't meant for you.
But you can't cut him out of your life, right? You can't cut your brother out of your life. You could like put up boundaries, but cut him out of your life? That's extreme.
That brother does not respect you.
All right, so the next couple, we talked about them.
Angela and Michael?
Jesus.
Wait, that's the last one,
Yeah,
right?
that's the last one. All right. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Angela and Michael. All right, so we're beginning where they're in the hotel and this is their third day together and Angela is not having a good day, girl. She couldn't find her cigarettes. You know, she found them and he wouldn't let her smoke them. And so she didn't think that they would be arguing like this on the third day, but honey child, they are. They are. And so she comes out of the bathroom with this tank top on with this like full back situation. It's like it's tank top and open here, but in the back is like this huge black, I don't know what it is, girl. It's like a cami under, I don't know what it is. So she's just like, Michael, is this too much?
Yes.
And he's like, if you cover a little bit.
Well, you told me about the legs, Michael, but you never told me about the tits.
Flawless.
She then is like sweating and upset and like going to go do her hair. So she like puts her hand up against the wall and starts to like flat iron her hair. So he goes to flat iron her hair out for her and like, baby, let me do that for you. And then I'm just like, this is the oddest situation. Like, what does he even know about her type of hair or a flat iron? Like, what does he know about those two items at all? And he's just like, ooh, and she's just like, okay, Michael, well, you know, this thing is really starting to upset me. You know, I'm gonna pretend this is the wall. So, you know, this thing is really trying to like starting to upset me because, you know, I guess I keep harping about our age more than anything. You know, it just really bothers me more than I thought it was gonna bother me.
It bothers me too.
Well, why'd you go and say that?
I didn't mean to know. No. What? No, who said that?
You just said it. Then what did you mean then?
There was a person, you saw that person walked out and said he said it bothers him and then he ran.
Oh, that was so funny. Oh, I think Michael should always be an Arab man.
I can't do it.
I know, and I think it's great. Always be an Arab man. So the next scene that they have, right off the heels of this, is her meeting his friends. The 3 friends, not just the 2. The one we just added, David. God.
I love him. You know I love me some David.
Fine, girl. I mean...
Weird.
Fine. Okay, so anyways, they get to the spot. She's got her drink in her hand. She's got her bebidas, and she's also got her phone right up there in her titties, you know what I'm saying? Pop socket and everything. And they come out, they sit down, and she's like, well, what do you think? You know, how do you think your friends are gonna come at me or like whatever? And she's just like, oh, no, don't worry, baby. They'll be fine. And so I was like, okay, great. So the friends get there. David gets there. Oh, David, he is so cute. Oh, David. And then we have the other friend. I don't remember his name, but shout out for wearing the Declaration of Independence. He was like, I'm gonna be on American TV. I'm gonna wear a shirt with the American flag on it. And I 100% appreciate that friend. And then the other friend who is the older one, like who cares about him? So they sit down. She thinks that she's gonna ask Michael's friends all these questions and that for whatever reason they're gonna be honest with her. So she decides that she's gonna say, well, what about his other girlfriends? Like, who has he been with? Like, what's he doing? And they're just looking at her like, what? You are the only person. Like, what are they gonna say? It's like not gonna go down like that at all. And she really thinks that she's about to get something out of them because she says that he follows a lot of women on Facebook and he wants to know what's up with that. And I'm like, people who follow a lot of people on Facebook follow a lot of people on Facebook. Like, it's not necessarily any sort of nefarious situation going on with that.
Yeah, and later
That's how he met you. So, like, okay, I get what you're saying, but, like, not that he's hooking up with all of them. You're the only boo-boo who came to Nigeria to meet him, so, like, you were winning at this point, right? So just settle into that. So, at some point, she decides that she's gonna go to the bathroom. And instead of just excusing herself like a normal human being, like being like, hey, oh, excuse me a second, and then just getting up, or maybe even being like, excuse me a second, no. Excuse me, you guys. I'm gonna get up and relieve myself in the little girl's room. It's like, TMI, Angela. Why'd you have to tell us all that?
I disagree because I felt like that was a really eloquent way for Angela to express that sentiment. If it was me, I would assume that she'd say something else. I assume that she'd be like,
oh, what, I'm gonna take a piss?
I think that she honestly censored herself when the word relieve was like the A to C choice and she was like, good word.
Oh. Yeah, maybe her first thought was, I gotta go take a piss. So let me just get up and go.
Yeah.
I'm just like, girl, we didn't have to
relieve myself in the little lady's room was like her being like, I'm a fancy.
Yeah,
you know?
okay. Yes. Finally, David is like, what do you see in her? Like, what about her turns you on? And Michael's like, oh, I feel like she is going to take care of me because she's very loving and she takes care of her man. And that all will happen in America. All of that is gonna happen in America. So it's official, you guys. I now believe that Michael is using Angela for the green card wholeheartedly. Before I didn't. I was like, maybe he really is into that, but then now I'm like, oh no, he's not. And it could be because she's a little bit bigger and older than what he thought in those pictures. And maybe he thought he could deal with it and learn to love her, but I don't think he's gonna be able to deal with that because they're having such a cultural difference. Like, the next day they end up going to the reserve, an animal reserve. And it's not a zoo, which they point out very clearly. The animals are gonna be roaming around. And she's like freaking out and they get on some like canopy
bridge. The longest canopy bridge in the world.
Or something like that, yeah. And so then they like walk across and she's scared and she's like, Michael, okay, Michael, give me, Michael.
Stop shaking the bridge, Michael, stop shaking the bridge! You know?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, intense. And so then
it's a metaphor. But you see, Michael, the canopy is like our relationship. And if we cross it, even though there is some wiggly ground, we make it to the top, Michael. We have the view the rest of our lives to look over, you know, something like that.
Yeah, very.
And Michael's like, I see your point.
Yeah. And then like they get to some place where they're just like, okay, before they have to cross it again. And he's just like, I'm sure TLC like made them stop and have this conversation. I just need for you to work on your snapping. And then her response is,
well, I need you to think about why I'm snapping. Because I don't just snap out of nowhere. I snap because I talk really nice to you about something. You don't listen. And so I gotta say it again. And so why don't you think about what you're gonna make me snap, Michael? You know, she's like, I don't have to be easy on you because you're not a woman, and if you can't take it, you're not man enough for me.
Balls to the walls. She came out with it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, okay. So basically, she's like, I need a cigarette. You won't give it to me. I snapped on you. So
you called me fat in front of people, and so I snapped on you. Then you called me old. At one point, you said, make my face look younger with makeup, when we both know that's not a possible thing. So that's why I snap.
Yeah. So think about what you're doing to me when I'm asking you to stop doing something and you don't stop doing it. It's just, I get where she's coming from, and she's like, you need to tell me about your culture. You only told me my legs. You didn't tell me up here. And now I'm hot. And now you're trying to flat iron my hair. And there's just a lot going on right now. Get off me. Don't try to hug me. Take it easy on you. You need to take it easy on me. I'm an American. And I came to this here dang country to be with you. And now you're putting all these rules and regulations on me like I'm not a grown-ass woman who could pay her own bills. And then you're all saying all this stuff about my age and the fact that I'm fat and all this stuff. So you need to take it easy on me. I'm in your land. Be nice to me. And I'm just like, you know what? I ain't mad at her. I ain't mad at her. She better tell him how to treat her. Tell him how to treat her.
You have a choice, Michael.
She's a fool. Yeah, I'm sure Michael didn't put all of his green card eggs in one basket, right? I mean,
he follows multiple women on Facebook, and then in the preview, she's like, "Why do you follow the Michaels? Because you like to masturbate to their pictures." Like, and she says,
"Oh
masturbate."
my god!"
I'm just like, "Oh my god, is she gonna say masturbating?"
Like, that is so much. Like, Michael is trying to get to these United States, and I don't know why he chose to go with a 50-year-old.
How about David?
White woman. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. Let us know if we forgot anything down below. Be sure to check out our vlog. We did a vlog while we were in Vegas, so if you want to see what that was like, you want to see us in real life arguing with each other and like throwing subtle shade, then please see that vlog. And it'll be linked once I get it up. So either it popped up now or it didn't pop up now. But if it popped up, then it's available. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. Again, I'm here with my friend Chris Farah.
Hi, thank you so much for watching, and I'll have part 2 of the vlog on my channel to watch. And go ahead, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube and follow me at Chris L. Farah. The L is for Las Vegas, on Instagram and Twitter. I love you so much.
And she promises that if you follow her, she then will put up content, not the other way around. You have to follow her first, and then she'll make content for you. If you don't follow her, she will continue to not create content. All right, if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to consider becoming a Patreon patron, please click the link down below. And always remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.